Hello guys, hope you are doing well. So today I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks while participating in a computer-based IELTS mock test. So this is the academic test and it will be on computer, but it is very much identical to the paper-based test. So you will be learning about the both version and you will be getting some methods to do good in your IELTS exam. So just follow me and watch the video and make sure you subscribe my channel for this kind of video in future. So first we're gonna test our headphone.
Please change the volume using the bar in the top right corner.
So you can see we have a bar here. We can just increase or decrease the volume. So let's try again.
Please change the volume using the bar in the top right corner. Click Continue when you hear the sound clearly.
I think this sound is much better. So I keep this volume for now, but we'll be able to increase or decrease the volume anytime we want from here. So let's click on continue button. So we have IELTS listening here, and it's about 30 minutes, almost half an hour, but it's actually more than half an hour. So we'll see. And there are some instructions to candidates, so we don't need this, we know all over this. And we have 40 question and there will be each question carries 1 mark. There are 4 parts in the test and you will hear each part once. So this all the thing we know. So let's just start the test and I'll be guiding you. So listen to my audio and the listening test audio as well.
Practice listening test 36. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear.
So we need to
There
just
will be time for you
highlight
to read the instructions and questions,
the
and you will have a
keywords.
chance
So
to check
for
your work.
now,
All the
cuisines
recordings will be played
and
once only.
5-star international.
The test
So
is in
most
4 parts.
probably it's about food.
Now
So
turn
that
to
can
part
be
1.
shaped.
Part 1.
In a moment, you're going to
Held
hear a
on.
conversation
So it's
between
that
two
time.
people. The receptionist for the
And
ticketing department of an entertainment park and a customer inquiring about booking tickets and about the park in general. Before you listen, look at questions 1 to 5.
And okay, so next days. So we have enough time for this part, but in future, you won't get that much time for the upcoming parts. So just for now, I'm gonna read the question 1 to 5 again. So there are some kind of cuisines here that can be classical cuisine or Spanish or Japanese
Now we shall
cuisine.
begin.
Okay,
You should
let's
answer
see.
the questions as you listen because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions.
We
1
can
to
write
5.
everything in capital, or we can just follow the case of the question.
Hello, is this the Royal Park ticketing line?
I'll do the second
Yes,
one.
it is. This is Magellan. How may I help you?
Ah, yes. Well, what sort of functions will be taking place at the park next week?
Here is functions.
Right. There are a number of functions scheduled for next week, which should be quite fun and exciting. First, we have the International Food Gala, which features traditional foods and dishes from all over the world, prepared by 5-star chefs. There will be a road show, and this is actually a competition for dancers, and the winner will be featured on the show A, B, C, D, Anybody Can Dance. That will be on Tuesday. Then there will be a rock festival featuring the San Francisco band The Blues. That should really be a hit.
Wow, that does sound really quite interesting. I'm a big fan of this band. Are there going to be any hip hop artists?
Sorry, sir, but as I said, this is a rock festival and will not feature any hip hop artists. For the first 3 days, the Blues will headline, and then the band Dead Zeppelin will be featured for the next 2 days. For the finale on Saturday and Sunday, we'll have Jeffrey's Spaceship starting off, followed by Dead Zeppelin, and ending the show will be the Blues.
Here I missed a
That is
question,
really
so
awesome.
I'm gonna
I
just
love those
ignore
bands.
this
What about
because
food?
just one mark.
Well, as I mentioned, we'll be having the International Food Gala, which will offer foods and dishes from all over the world and prepared by five-star chefs.
5-star
We featured this
chefs,
last year, and it was a big hit. We'll specifically feature Greek,
traditional.
Thai, Mexican, Polynesian, Italian, Spanish, and Japanese, among various other cuisines. Some of the chefs are Pablo Cruz from Mexico, Ming Fong of China, Artemis Papadopoulos of Greece, and Harigato Mushida of Japan. They will all be cooking their special and traditional dishes from their respective countries.
Oh, that does sound yummy. You've got my mouth watering.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10.
So we have this question, so we'll just highlight it and
Now listen carefully
do
and
event
answer
work,
questions 6 to 10.
work entry.
I see. What's the entry fee? Does that cover
It's
all the events?
The general entry fee into the park is $75. This covers all the events except the Saturday and Sunday shows for the Rock Festival, as well as the International Food Gala. You can purchase separate tickets for those or combine them with the park entry fee for a discount. Also, for the Rock Festival, there is reserved seating for the first 15 rows.
How much extra is the entry to the Food Fest, as well as Saturday and Sunday's performance at the Rock Festival?
That's $50 each.
That's
$50.
exorbitant. And will be combined for a discount?
Why, yes, and I was just going to get to that. You can combine them either together for a total of $75
$5.
or with the park entry fee for a total of $130. You could even choose one of the events along with park entry, and that would cost $100.
Well, I do want to sit in the front rows. I love all those bands. I'll pay the extra. So if I also want to go to the food festival, I just need to pay a bit more?
Yes, that's correct. You'll get to enjoy both the food festival and the rock festival, along with general park admittance. This will allow you to enjoy all the features of the park as well.
This is unnecessary
That sounds great.
information.
I'll be coming with a group. Do you offer group discounts?
Group
I'm
discount.
glad you asked. Yes, we do offer group discounts. We currently offer a 6+2. This is for
6+2.
parties of 8 people. You pay for 6, and the other 2 are free.
That sounds great. I'd like to book 8 tickets then,
8
please.
tickets.
Very good. May I have your name, sir?
Yes, it is Cyrano Jones.
That is Sirano.
No, that's CYRANO.
CY. Okay.
Very well. Got it, Mr. Jones. And how would you like to pay for the tickets?
I'd like to use my Visa card if I may.
So we can
Certainly.
just
What is the
now
number?
go to the
1,
next
2,
question.
3,
So we
3.
can just check the
1, 2, 3, 3.
Sure, hold on.
2, 1, 4, 5. 6, 6, 5, 4, 8, 8, 1.
That's 1233 2145 6654 881, correct?
Yes, it is.
Very good, Mr. Jones. I'll have your tickets processed in just a moment.
Thank you so much.
Just go
That is
to
the
the,
end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your
where
answers.
is the theme park located? Okay, so we need a location for home, ideal location. So home, here we have home and ideal location and scheduled in initial. So our keyword will be range and party scheduled in. Okay, so during the afternoon, the lunch. So
Now
our
turn to part 2.
schedule the lunch.
Part 2.
You are about to hear a talk from a guide conducting a tour of Dream Park.
After.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15.
So as you can see, I already highlighted this and already read this question before they actually told me. So those time was for checking the answer, and this time is for actually reading the question. But I utilize the time uh, reserved for the checking because I cannot check anything because I already written or I listened, so I cannot
Now,
change this.
listen to the
That's why I
first
just
part of the
read the
talk
questions.
and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good afternoon, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about Dreams Park, a fun and education park set in the outskirts of the city. It is spread over 25 hectares and has a variety of rides, shows, and other feature attractions. It is regarded as a favorite family theme park, and rightly so. It is a great getaway for the entire family who seek adventure over the weekend. Dreams Park is so many worlds wrapped up into one world. It is thrilling rides, virtual care racing,
This is unnecessary
games, live
information
shows, wildlife, and a
for
5D movie
confusing
theater.
you.
With more than 50 rides and attractions in Dreams Park, it would be advisable to plan your day in such a way that you experience all your must-do rides, shows, and activities.
So make sure
Let me
everything
chart out
is
a
in
possible
sequence. So
itinerary
you
for
just look for the
Morning.
question coming
Upon
next.
entering at 10 a.m.,
10
head to the
a.m.
thrilling and fun rides of Freefall, Giant Lead, the Upside Down and Turnaround Coaster, as well as the Pump Up. The Rain Dance Party is on at 11 a.m. at the dance station. After 45 minutes of dancing, you want to head to Games Galore for some games such as Lazy River, the Rock Climbing Wall, and boating. Next, you can go for virtual car racing at the racecourse just before lunch. Afternoon. Grab some lunch at one of the many multi-cuisine restaurants and enjoy a variety of delicious dishes from around the world. You then want to head down to Wildlife Experience and see some of our adorable and ferocious animals, including the kangaroos, koalas, and crocodiles.
So
After this, catch a 5D movie.
5D movies.
And for a finale, enjoy a live concert.
Live concert. So actual answer is live concert. So they said many things to
Before you
confuse
hear
us.
the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20.
So we need to do quick, silent, and online. That will be our keyword. Adult gate. So adult gate will be our keyword. Maximum. So that is the maximum will be our keyword. So actually it's the capacity. Total restaurants. So restaurants will be our keyword. Peak days already given. Other days will be something near to this. So we need to be aware of this. Okay. So it will start talking now, and
Now,
yeah.
listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, let me tell you about how the park operates. To maximize your satisfaction and fun, Dreams Park operates during both peak and off-peak season.
This is
Peak season
unnecessary
schedules include weekends and school holidays, while off-peak season operation takes place during weekdays and outside of school holidays. The price of tickets varies and can be purchased both online and at the gate. Online ticket price for admission is $55 for adults and $40 for children 10 and under. The gate price is $60 for adults and $45 for children. Dreams Park not only takes your fun seriously, but it also offers you an alternative to standard conferences, social events, corporate breakfasts, and dinners from 5 to 8,000 guests. One can choose from the 9 multi-cuisine restaurants which operate within the park. And this prompts me to remind you that the opening hours of the park are from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week during peak season. During off-peak season, the park opens at 10 a.m. but closes 1 hour earlier.
So that will be 6. 1 hour. So
That is
let's
the end of part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
be active or something like that. So both. So be happy and B will be our keyword, and this is attentively and what. So that will be something like focus or and on attentively. So attentively will be another keyword. Struck by Start by pause.
Now turn to part 3. Part 3.
Listen to a discussion on listening skills between a professor in English and a student. First, you have some time to look at questions
Before
21
the
to
speaker
25.
is speaking. Okay. Speaker is speaking. So I'm just gonna look into this for a moment, but we need to read this again because they asked us to read 21 to 25. So B, that can be active or prepared or I think it's active. So
Now,
let's
listen
see.
to the first part of the conversation and answer
Attentively
questions
on
21
one
to
describe.
25. Good morning, Mr. Henderson.
Good morning, Annie. What brings you here?
Sir, I would like to have some tips to improve my listening. I find it really difficult to score really good marks in the listening test. Can you teach me some tricks on how to improve it?
Sure, Annie. I'm always ready to help my students whenever they need it. I believe listening skills need to be both taught and practiced. Just because you have a pair of ears does not make you a good listener. You can certainly hear things and hear what is spoken to you, but listening is a whole world apart. I must advise you to use what is called effective listening. The very first step of effective listening is tuning in. A good listener must be physically and mentally prepared to listen. One must practice focusing on what is being said with undivided attention. This means that you should forget all the little or even not so little things which come into your mind and focus entirely on what the person is saying. A lot of times, people experience absent-mindedness. They begin to listen to someone speak, and in the course of their listening, random thoughts start invading their minds. This is actually a very normal thing. But the key is to not give your attention to those random thoughts. When this happens, you tend to forget the person who's speaking. What also happens is that we get too focused on listening for the important points, particularly in a lecture, and then make the mistake of not getting certain key details or minor points, which can be important to know. A lot of students will have the notion that other than the key points, everything else is irrelevant, and this is just not the case. What is not said sometimes is just as important as what is being said. I'm making a reference, of course, to inferences. Those are things which are not said, but can be deduced or suggested from what the speaker is saying. A good listener needs to halt judgment and wait until the other person is finished before contemplating what is being inferred or not, as well as to know what is relevant and not relevant.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30.
We have listener must interpret. So interpret will be our keyword. Pitch, pace, and volume, that will be our keyword. Tuning in will be another keyword. Turning out random thoughts, so tuning out at random thought will be our keyword. Minor points, so minor points will be our keyword.
Now, listen to the second part of the discussion
Clear to
and answer
communication,
questions 26 to 30.
Confusion.
Oh, so now I know why I'm having trouble, because I've noticed that I'm focusing on picking up the main ideas.
That's just a part of it, Annie. But what I've discussed plays a role in this next part, because you must interpret. And much of the interpreting is done during that first stage, and that can get confusing. Typically, if one has trouble interpreting the meaning of what's being said, there's a great deal of energy devoted to translating in the mind in order to understand the concepts. We all create meanings according to our own experiences, so it's important to confirm that our understanding is correct. That's why you give feedback, such as summarizing what a person has said.
All right. Sometimes I don't do that, and that seems to be what I have difficulty understanding.
Now, the next thing you need to consider is nonverbal communication. Not everything is communicated through words. Much is communicated through gestures, intonation of words, pitch, and volume of voice. These typically tell us how a person is feeling, both emotionally and physically, and gives a general idea about the attitude towards a particular subject. From this, we can usually tell whether or not the speaker is excited, disappointed, angry, or even confused.
Okay, sir, let me just confirm my understanding by summarizing what you've just taught me. First, one needs to tune in and focus attention on the speaker and tune out all the random thoughts. The next step is to pay attention to everything that's being said so that I don't miss out on any key details or minor points, as well as inferences. Finally, I should pay attention to what a person is communicating non-verbally, as I can get an idea of how they are feeling or how they generally view a topic. Wow, this is really useful, sir. I'm really going to make an effort to utilize what you've just shared with me. Thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome, Annie.
So this question is for confusing you, so you can just ignore it if you don't understand anything, because you don't need to be 9 scorer. So just next. So you can also lower is carbon dioxide. So it can be consumption or production, and production most probably less is consumed. So there will be something like oxygen or something like that. In a decade, there
Now
occurs.
turn to part 4. Part 4.
Listen to a lecture in an environment class about disposal and recycling of domestic waste and answer questions 31 to 40. You have some time to look at the questions 31 to 40.
Mixed with other glass and difficult to melt. So that will be temperature or something like that. It is part of it. Let's go. Okay. Due to. So you need to read all the questions. That is not actually possible, but try to take master. For soil, just for soil, due to plastic, different type for use all for use. So different types of plastic makes out of plastic. So now we need to focus on this keyword, how recycling can help people's views, recycling glasses, and issues with recycling that can be paper, plastic.
Now listen to the lecture and answer questions 31 to 40.
A group of students in my environmental science class has been working on a project on how waste from houses gets recycled in London. The results were quite astonishing, as only 12% of people here in the UK takes initiatives to recycle their waste. This is below average when compared to most other European countries. This will mean great effort is needed to drastically increase the government's effort to accomplish its recycling targets. According to the targets decided, the UK must lower their carbon dioxide emissions by 13.5% by 2016. Recycling can help to accomplish this goal, mainly in 2 ways. First, the production of recycled glass and paper takes much less energy than producing them from natural materials. Second, recycling helps in reducing greenhouse gas emissions from landfills and incineration plants. As part of the project, a survey of people was conducted. One thing kept coming up over and over again. People felt that it was a difficult task to recycle their waste. One aspect of this was that there are not enough left-out sites for recyclable materials. Another aspect is that the waste that is collected from householders is carried to places called bring banks, which are sorting and packing centers. One problem here is that waste not meant for recycling gets mixed with the recyclable materials. All this gets sorted by hand. Another difficulty is that glass which is used for cooking doesn't fully melt at the temperature which is required for other glass, and so this also needs to be separated by hand. It's very easy to recycle glass because it can be reused over and over again without becoming less strong. 2 million tons of glass is disposed of each year. That's equivalent to 7 billion bottles and jars. However, only 500,000 tons of that is collected and recycled. Half of the glass that's accumulated is green, and a large amount of that is imported. This means that more green glass is recycled than what the UK needs. As a result, people are developing new uses for recycled glass, especially green glass in the manufacture of fiberglass and water filtration. A company called DLA Aggregates manufactures a product for roads, and 40% of this material is smashed glass. When recycling kicked off, there were problems regarding quality. Recycled paper is difficult to use in office printers. This issue and other issues regarding quality have been resolved. For example, Martin's, based in Edinburgh, produces a range of office stationery which is 100% recycled. It costs the same as regular paper and is of the same high quality as fresh paper. This optimum quality comes at a cost in terms of the waste produced during the process, however. More than 1/3 of the waste is paper that comes in and cannot be recycled as paper. This raises the question of what to do with it. One firm, Paper Preserve, currently sells this waste paper to farmers as a soil conditioner, though this practice will soon be barred, unfortunately, because of transportation costs and the odor which is produced. The company is currently seeking alternative uses for the waste paper. Plastic also poses problems. This is because there are various types of plastic in use today, and one has to be dealt with in a different manner. Snapwrap recycles all sorts of things, from bottles to car bumpers. One of the company's most unbeatable activities is recycling plastic bottles to make containers which are used all over the country to collect waste. The Save a Tumbler scheme was set up by the vending and plastics industry to recycle as many as possible of the 3.5 billion polystyrene tumblers used each year. At the moment, 500 million poly tumblers are collected, processed, and then sold on to other businesses such as Waterford, which turns them into pencils, and John & Jones, a Welsh-based firm, which has made a wide variety of items, including business cards. To conclude, there appears to be plenty of research going on into how to reuse materials, but the biggest problem is getting people to think about recycling instead of throwing things away.
So look like I messed up with two answers, and there can be some wrong answers. I mean wrong spelling. So like emissions, then energy. So emissions that can be wrong. Temperature, temperature, temperature. Temperature. So that is another conclusion.
That is the end of the
It is
listening test. You now have
predicted.
10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answer sheet.
So they are giving 10 minutes, but actually in computer-based listening test, you won't get 10 minutes for transferring to your answer sheet. So anyway, let's just check the answer. Many and conditioning. So conditioning, containers, pencils. I guess PEMPER. I guess this will be answer. What I'm going to put PER, temper. So I think this recycled. There are recycled, conditioning, container, cancels, emission. So emission, I think it can be emission. So emission, so that can be E, EION, emission. I think this one will be correct. Emission. So many conditions. So let's go back to the random irrelevant stop. So prepared, P-R-E-P-A-R-E-D, prepared, focus, random. So I think this one is correct because our random we have here random. So random spelling is correct. So here we have 40, 30. So we cannot change anything here. I think this all are correct. And I guess I missed this answer. A roadshow will be held on dance or on the that can be a month, but I just missed it. And winner, winners or winner. Okay, I guess winner. So group discount, GROUP group. So I have 2 minutes left. So I will just keep this like this. Now, if you want, you can just use all the capital word. That won't be a problem. But if you just write this in a small letter, that can be a wrong answer, and they will deduct the mark. So as you can see, that timer is almost up. It's showing seconds. So I'm just gonna end the test. So that's it. Hello there, this is our IELTS grading mock test. It is actually computer based, but the computer based and the paper based are almost similar. And I'll be giving you all the tips and tricks which will be applicable for both type of IELTS test. So for now, I'll be demonstrating this test. This is IELTS academic reading test, and we have 60 minutes for the whole test, and there will be only 40 questions. And so there are some instructions, you can read it later. So let's get started. So as you can see, we have part 1, part 2, and part 3. So I'm gonna try to finish this part as soon as possible. So we'll be spending something like 15 minutes on each part, and then the remaining time will be reserved for checking. So we have passage. So in this passage, in this paragraph, we have solar energy. So I'll address this one as a paragraph and this whole thing as a passage. So we need to read out all these 8 paragraphs, but that will be a problem because the time is very limited. That's why I'm gonna read only first line of all these paragraphs, and I'll try to understand what actually the paragraph want to tell us. So solar energy, which is radiant light and heat from sun, used for a variety of purposes, especially in heating of buildings. So I'll be heating of buildings and used for technologies used for collecting solar energy can be into different categories. So technologies used for collecting different categories, and basic solar techniques include orienting building. So there is basic solar technique, and informational energy claim that development of acceptable so as long-term benefit. The earth regularly receives uh, that something about details. Ocean and land masses on Earth's surface uh, absorb solar radiation and this. So that is something like an explanation on total energy absorbed by Earth from Sun, including here. Solar energy can be harvested from all around the world. So I just applying the scheming method. So at first I just read all the first line of all the passages. Now we need to try to read this question. So various purpose is solar energy which is used for various using technology. Depending on the way of active technique like so I'm gonna read the question for real quick. Basic solar techniques can use sun energy to make so as I read the question and all the first line of each passage, I know that what the answer will be. Like solar energy, this is used for is using technology. So uh, with this, here we have technologies and continuously evolving. So we'll be using evolving. So that method I used is called scheming. I didn't read everything. I was just looking for the keyword evolving. So active techniques. So three active and passive solar. So we have something like passive solar, and this is something like active solar. Heat techniques, light and heat energy. Collect. So, so this will be collect. This one was easy. Basic solar techniques use sun energy to according to the orienting cooling the sun the heating effect of the sun different parts of the house. So I think we got our answer here. Basic solar techniques use sound energy and maximize heating and cooling of living space by them according to the sun. So as we know, we have orienting, so that will be orienting. So make sure the pronunciation is correct. Orienting. And the building materials can collect, store, or so building material can collect. So materials would collect and store the heat from sun. So as I say that if we use the scheming method, we can just start with the keyword, and it is very easy to find. Trust me, if you do practice, then you will be better than me. So the building material can collect, store, or store depending on the reason. So we found this keyword here. Now we'll read the first line. previous line and the next line. So another technique is building materials that favor a thermal mass in which material collect and store the heat from the sun. Another is selecting materials with diffuse light rather than accumulating, which would be useful or dry. So that will be discussed. Discuss. So make sure the spelling is correct, and one basic method is to basic money in the way all movement of air. So that will be something. Our keyword is movement of air. So that is our keyword. So let's search movement of air. Circulate air and movement of air. These are the synonyms. They just paraphrase it. So this is made to design in a way. So we have only one word, so we'll write design. So our answer will be design. And design. So the amount of solar energy that can be captured and has all over the world. So that is something will can be captured and varies all over the world, because so I guess we have something like that from all around the in a various level of degree. So I think this is coming from here, the amount of okay, captured and harvested. So harnessed, I don't know this word, harnessed, but I guess this is harvested. So let's write harvested. The- but that can be answered. So I don't know. So learn the vocabulary as much you can. Because of the art. So here we have equator, we have equator. So equator, I think, is something like North Pole or South Pole. So our shape, I guess that will be something like shape. So place the equator. Okay, due to art. So that will be TILT. I don't actually know the word, but I guess that will be the answer. So the place on the equator or includes. So then we have to equator. So that will be answer, I guess. So we make the proxy, make it. So this is answer. Now we have true or false. So buildings are normally designed in order to harness the maximum sunlight. So I guess there are something related to orientation, and that was something like apple lamp in the sun in order to maximize the heating effect of the sun. in different part of the house. So I guess as you can see, so they are orienting the building according to the sun in order to maximize the heating effect of the sun. So they are talking about sunlight. So I think we should just let's go for true. This is a prediction actually. So IEA believe that. So IEA was sustainability. So I guess this is true. Enough energy to spare. So I guess this is true. A major component of solar light is near the victim. So I guess here will be the answer. Okay, so while small portion is near, okay. So found the keyword by skimming method, and now the major component of solar light is near. So are mostly the visible near, mostly within the visible and near range of the, while solar light at the Earth's surface falls mostly within the visible and near range of spectrum, while a small portion. So look at this small portion is near. So that will be false. The amount of non-renewable energy generated per year is twice the amount generated from the solar energy in on year. So I guess the amount something here I think. Mm, well, more energy in 1 hour than the world typically is. So so I'm just looking around for the answer. So I didn't find this. So I'll go for not given. This is a predicted answer actually. So that can be mass solar energy from the other region. So we already read this equator. So amount of the energy can be we got the answer distinct from the equator. More energy. We are on the March solar radiation. So that will be true. Okay, so let's move to the next question. We have 3 minutes left for this part. Okay, so we have the Great Pacific. So for the paper-based exam, so you need to write the answer on the question paper first. That is my suggestion. That is not the rule. So that will be my suggestion that you should write the answers on the question paper because you will be losing a lot of time just choosing the answer sheet and question. So I'll suggest write, drop on the question paper, then transfer it to the answer sheet. So you will be spending 15 minutes for writing or finding out the question answers on the write down on the question paper, and then you will be using the rest of the time, the 5 minutes, for transferring the question to the answer sheet. So you actually need something like 3 minutes, but 5 minutes I said for just for reserve. Okay, let's go to the part 2. Um, so we have another passage. So this time we have table. So no worries, I will be again using the same technique. So the great Pacific garbage patch isn't what you think. Largest collection of floating. So we need a keyword float famous microplastics in estimated. So that will be something like calculation related. That's why I keyworded estimated by that team of scientists published assembly content more than. Okay, we'll look at here later. Ghost net and transparent discoveries accidentally lost netting trapped the ocean. So So let's ignore this. There are no keywords, but I will just make a keyword. So I just alert the name and his. So we have a question, I guess. There are scientists. So yeah, that won't be bad. Then the name. Surface towel. 50 plastic item collected. So that will be okay. So let's get it started. Now we have this, and we need to mess with A, B, C, or D, and E, or F and G. For this type of question, you need to read the question first. So reference to a new phrase invented to describe purpose. So a new phrase invented, part of the trash. Mention the mention of reports of plastic as a major threat. Major, so that is the keyword. Mention the need to fishing gear, patch. So there are different countries. Problem is much bigger than. So there is a studies and mention of an initiative aims to reducing the plastic pollution in so reducing the pollution of ocean. Okay, so there should be answer like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 questions and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we should get is passes for is. Okay, so let's see. Why and California? So they were discovered by so I'll be just highlighting the names because we need the names here. So I'll be highlighting the name as well. Los Angeles. So I guess there are something related to countries. So my guess is different countries. So that will be A. So there is something related to microplastics. Fishing gear. So I think there is so I guess that will be answer. So let's just say B. We'll be able to change the answers in our list. So study, where did I say a study? There was a study. So yeah, I guess this is 19. Larger than previously estimated. Okay, okay, I got it. I got it. So here it is. Now we have D. A to do. Okay. This is too much details here. Marine animals. Marine animals means live in the oceans. Ocean cleanup. So I know what you are thinking. That will be something that funny. So that is funny. Okay, so three left. So we have plus two central mass and the current location. This is static information. So let's ignore this for a moment. I guess we have a wrong answer. So I'll be highlighting this as well. New report. Okay, something is new report. So I guess this will be A. One of the So this should be here is plastic is a major threat. So they said that plastic pollution can be major threat. So no problem, both can be answered. But let's see. So we have a completion with 14 also. I was just gonna highlight this. The paper based is much easier to handle. Okay, so this forward. So we have only one question. Okay, I guess we had a wrong answer here. So B, let's read the B again. Okay, okay. So the B, the answer. I think this is B. So we have a confusion here. So if this is B, then whatever E. So since we don't want the 100% mark, so let's just ignore this. Okay, so we have a summary here. Study of the garbage piece reveals that. Okay, so we have this keyword here, I guess B. A bonded fishing gear. So we got the answer. So we need only one word. Most. So the answer is actually most. Most of. Finding is a that discarded gear. This finding is a that discarded on the major threat to animal life. Okay, so from We have another writer here, I mean person here. So I'll just highlight this for now. We have very less time left. We have just 7 minutes. So let's ignore this unless the large scale need to solve the person to the ocean. So we have 2020. So we need to search for that. Just read unless the large incident need to stop the flow of close to. So I think here is the answer. Now I'm using again the skimming technique to find out the keyword. Okay, so we have this threefold. Okay, so our answer is threefold. Threefold, threefold, threefold. Okay, so this finding is that is something we're missing. So we don't have enough time. We have just 5 minutes. So let's just ignore this. I'm not gonna actually ignore it. What I gonna do is to come back this again. So I guess the answer will be here. So I'll just highlight the D with the whole line so that I can find this easily later on. This won't work because of this. So this is a problem for the software based test. Okay, so we'll be coming here later. We have just 4 minutes for this section, so we need to find the list of the people. So we need to find the A. So let's see. Charles Mori. So we have Charles Mori here. Charles Mori. A fisherman who had sailed through discovered. Okay, so the patch was discovered by Charles. So Mori sailed through. Okay, let's ignore this. Tracking options. So we got the answer here. So actually E. So we have E. We didn't find this. So fishing gear higher than expectation. Study by salt, SLT. So buoyant salt, he vessel. So that will be F, because okay. So we have some other people left. So we have, I guess I found this finding is so I think that will be debate. And here we back. Limited. So I think M not. So that will be B. So we have just one left. Okay, so discarded. This will be D, because I guess this is finding is not plastic. So that will be D. Okay, let's not stop waste our time here. We'll just move. So part 28. So we have some MCQ here, as you can see, and we have a table, and then again some MCQs. So this time the same method. Blue light isn't the main source of the eye and sheep losses. So blue light has gotten a bad rap, getting blamed for reputation. I mean, the loss of sleep and eye damage. So laboratory study have shown damages retinal cell. Laboratory studies. Ohio State University. See. Is built-in protection. So this time we won't actually use the old method. So we'll just read the headlines: built-in protection, and we have filling the glasses. Does blocking the blue mark sense, and what really works? So they already gave us some hints. So we'll just go to the questions. The blue light from different device does not damage our eyes in a similar to because so I guess uh, so we have this here. So mice, I guess this is rat. So here will be the answer. Okay, so there is building. So I think I need to guess the answer. Inbuilt defense. So that is the answer. Inhumanized. Different than we have criminal versus masculine natural ability. So okay, so that is actually correct answer. Which of the following, we already lost 6 minutes, oh no. So which of the following misconception or blue light has been the first? So I think the answer will be here. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so not alone. So that will be the answer. So I'm using the speed grading technique in this case. So I guess the here will be the answer. So I think so there is only 10 minutes left. You have a good number of questions, so make this game more comfortable. Also, the bright light of any color reduces so we have an answer here. Duplicated hydrate. Take a break. So break the break. Inflation. So on. So inflation. What the level of brightness, right? one word, so I think that will be 14. COAD. Reduces Gauss focus. Okay, so that will be Gauss. I'll explain that later because I have no time. It's not the biggest concept. I guess not big. We have done so. So I think this is a wastage because we can get similar result by moving away the phone. So that will be wastage. So now sunglasses. We don't have sunglasses now. So I guess I did everything. So let's see. So in this passage, I didn't use the skimming method properly. I actually read everything, but I tried to make it faster by looking at the keywords. And I, after I read these ones, then when I moved to the second type of question, it was easier for me because I already read the whole passage. That's why it was easier for me to finish the other passages. So it actually works if you just read the whole passage at once, but you need to practice whatever you do, or you can follow the scheming method fully. you do not need a lot of score, something like 8 or 9. So let's see. Let's just submit it. So I'm gonna just submit it now.